Welcome to this deep dive, you guys, into the Roswell Incident.
Ooh, Roswell.
It's 1947.
Okay.
The world's still kind of reeling from World War II, and we're stepping right into the Cold War.
Right.
You've got all this new technology popping up. Tensions are high.
A lot of anxiety.
Yeah, a perfect recipe for UFO fever.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going beyond the headlines here. We're going to explore what really happened in Roswell using firsthand accounts, military statements. We'll even look at how this event kind of rippled through our culture.
Yeah, I mean, Roswell, it wasn't some big city or anything. No. It was just this tiny little town in New Mexico.
Right.
Which is what makes it so crazy when you think about the massive military presence at the Roswell Army Airfield, the RAAF.
So it's July 1947, right? Scorching summer day.
Oh, yeah?
Sleepy desert town.
Definitely.
And then, boom, something crashes.
Oh, wow.
The RAAF comes in, announces to the world, hey, we got a flying disc.
What? Headlines everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But then, almost as quickly, they retract it.
What do you mean?
It's suddenly just a weather balloon.
Oh, come on, really?
Yeah, that's what they said.
I mean, that's what really got people going, don't you think?
Oh, totally.
This huge back and forth.
Yeah.
1 minute it's aliens, the next it's just nope, boring old weather equipment.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah.
I'd be suspicious, too. And especially when you think about what folks on the ground were reporting, right?
Yeah.
You got people saying they found this, weird debris all over a ranch.
Okay.
And it was, super strong, but also, really light. Doesn't sound like your average weather balloon, does it?
No, it doesn't.
And then you got military folks describing the recovery super secretive, super urgent.
It sounds like they were hiding something.
That's what it sounds like.
Wow.
Straight out of some spy movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the official word then? What's the government saying about all this?
Well, first they went with the weather balloon thing, remember?
Right.
Which didn't really convince anyone.
Yeah.
But then, way later in 1994, they come out with this new report.
Okay.
Blaming it on Project Mogul.
Project Mogul, remind me what that was all about.
So, Project Mogul,
Okay.
it was this top secret Cold War project.
Okay.
They used these high altitude balloons
Okay.
with microphones on them
Uh-huh.
to try and pick up sound waves from Soviet nuclear tests.
Like a spy balloon?
Pretty much, yeah. Wow. So the government's basically saying, oh, that flying disc everyone saw,
Yeah.
just one of our spy balloons.
Okay.
Sorry for the confusion.
So just a case of mistaken identity.
That's their story.
A secret spy balloon mistaken for a spaceship.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not buying it. What about all the eyewitness accounts? The weird debris? Doesn't add up.
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? And that's where the conspiracy theories come in.
Oh, the conspiracy theories.
Buckled up.
Now this is where it gets interesting. Alien cover-ups, government misinformation, reverse-engineered alien tech, people being silenced.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Roswell's conspiracy theory central.
Right.
Why do you think that is? Why are these theories so sticky? What do they say about us, about how we view authority, how we see ourselves in the universe?
It's a good question. It is a good question. I mean, the government covering up alien contact.
Yeah.
Pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
But then again, it feeds into that fear of the unknown, that feeling like we're not getting the whole story.
Well, for sure.
And especially back then during the Cold War, secrecy and paranoia were everywhere. People were primed to believe the government was hiding something big.
Oh, absolutely. Trust was already pretty low.
Yeah.
And the military flip-flopping on their story didn't exactly help.
No, not at all. It makes you wonder if something like Roswell happened today with social media and everything, could they control the narrative the same way?
Good question.
Okay, so let's get into some of these theories, right?
Okay, yeah.
First up, the classic alien cover-up.
Classic.
The government found a spaceship, maybe even alien bodies, and they're keeping it all hush-hush to avoid mass panic.
Hiding the truth.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like they're saying, we can't handle the truth.
Exactly. And it's not just about Roswell, right?
Oh, yeah.
It feeds into this whole idea that the government's been hiding evidence of aliens for decades.
Oh, yeah. There's this whole secret organization controlling all the information about UFOs and stuff.
Exactly.
Like X-Files stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Roswell's had a huge impact on pop culture.
Yeah.
Movies, TV shows, books, everything.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
It's incredible how one little event in a small town can capture the whole world's imagination.
It is.
Why do you think that is? What is it about Roswell that's just so fascinating?
I think it speaks to that need we all have,
Yeah.
to know if we're alone, if there's something else out there.
Roswell, it's like dangling this mystery in front of us. We've got these little clues, but no real answers.
Like a puzzle we can't solve.
Exactly.
But we keep trying.
We keep trying.
So we got the alien cover-up. But that's not the only theory, is it?
Oh, no.
You've also got the Project Mogul misinformation angle.
Right.
So the crash was a Project Mogul balloon, but the government played up the whole UFO thing to distract from their secret program.
Yeah, like they're using the mystery as a cover.
Right.
Protecting their own interests.
It plays into that distrust of authority.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they're always trying to control what we know.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the reverse engineering theory.
Oh, yeah. This one's fun.
This is where things get really sci-fi. The government not only finds a spaceship, but they manage to, take apart the alien tech and use it to make new weapons and stuff.
Pretty wild, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's like, are we using alien tech right now without even knowing it? And it also makes you think, if we did find alien tech, should we be using it? Is that ethical?
That's a whole other conversation.
Whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
Can't forget the witness intimidation theory either.
That one's dark.
The government silencing people who saw too much, threatening them to keep Roswell quiet.
A cover-up. Keeping those secrets buried.
It's scary to think about,
Yeah.
That they go to those lengths.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we've got a whole bunch of Roswell theories here, each one reflecting our fears, our hopes, our fascination with what we don't understand.
It's a mirror, in a way.
It is.
Reflecting back at us.
And after all that, we still have that central question. What really happened in Roswell?
A big question.
We've got these firsthand accounts, military statements, government reports, independent investigations, and they're all pointing in different directions.
Yes.
How do we untangle this?
That's the challenge, right?
Yeah.
Separating what's real from what people want to believe.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of digging.
And maybe a little bit of open-mindedness.
Oh, for sure.
Just in case the truth is even weirder than we think.
Exactly.
All right, so we set the stage, look at some of the popular theories, but what about the official investigations? What did they actually conclude about Roswell?
Well, the first official investigation, that was done by the military right after the incident.
Okay.
And surprise, surprise, they took back their flying disc statement pretty quickly.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Said it was just a weather balloon.
Like we said, that didn't convince a lot of people.
Nope.
Decades later, though, people are still obsessed with Roswell. So in 1994, the U.S. Air Force did another deeper investigation.
Okay.
They were more thorough, but same conclusion.
Really?
Project Mogul. The debris was from a Project Mogul balloon.
So 2 official investigations, both saying, nope, not aliens.
Yep. Case closed?
Not so fast.
Right. Because alongside those official investigations, you've got countless independent investigations going on, led mostly by, UFO researchers and enthusiasts.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
They've come up with a ton of different findings, often going against the official explanations.
Of course they have.
Right.
Yeah.
And they present evidence for all sorts of theories, including, aliens.
It's amazing how much is out there.
It is. Books, documentaries, websites, everyone's got a theory.
And that's what makes it so fascinating, right? Even with these official explanations, a lot of people just can't accept that something so strange, so extraordinary, could be so simple.
Easier to believe in a government cover-up than a weather balloon, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's something bigger here. It's not just about Roswell. It's about how we see the world.
Right, I mean.
It's about truth, about belief, about our place in this whole vast universe.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah, it's deeper than just aliens.
It is.
Whether you believe in aliens or not, Roswell makes you think.
Makes you question.
Makes you question.
Yeah.
The information we're given, who we trust, what we know, it all comes into play.
And that's important.
It is.
Because it forces us to confront the unknown, to grapple with the idea that there might be things out there, things we don't understand.
And maybe things we never will.
Maybe.
It's kind of humbling, in a way.
It is.
Okay, well, we've laid the groundwork, explored some of the big theories, but what about the people who were actually there?
Ah, the human element.
Right. The people who lived this, who saw it firsthand. What about their stories?
It's kind of crazy to think that Roswell, with all the mystery and controversy surrounding it, actually pushed science forward in some ways.
Really? I never thought about it like that. How so?
Well, all the buzz around the incident got people thinking about aliens again. And that led to more funding for things like SETI,
SETI!
the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. They use those giant radio telescopes.
Oh, right.
Trying to pick up signals from alien civilizations.
So Roswell, indirectly helped us learn more about the universe.
In a way, yeah. Plus, it pushed the development of better tech for spotting things in space. Good for science, good for national security.
Every cloud has a silver lining, right?
Exactly. And we can't forget the cultural impact. Roswell's become this symbol of the unknown. I mean, it's everywhere. Books, movies, TV shows, even video games.
It's true. One little event in a tiny town, and it just took over the world's imagination. What do you think it is about Roswell that's just so captivating?
I think it speaks to those big questions we all have. Are we alone? What else is out there? Roswell, it's like this puzzle we can't quite solve.
We've got pieces, but no complete picture.
Right. Everyone's got their own idea of what that picture should look like.
Yeah.
Aliens, government conspiracies, you name it.
It's like a mirror reflecting back all our different beliefs.
Exactly. It's the power of storytelling, The stories we tell ourselves about the world shape how we see it.
It's funny. Even after talking about this for so long, I still don't know what to believe.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Part of me wants to just go with the official story. But there's that other part, that little voice saying, what if there's more?
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to not know. Maybe that's part of the beauty of it all.
Keeps us curious, keeps us searching.
Exactly. Who knows? Maybe one day some new evidence will pop up and we'll finally get answers.
Or maybe the mystery will just keep going, inspiring people for generations.
Either way, Roswell's a landmark event. One of the most intriguing and mysterious things to happen in the 20th century.
It really makes you think about how we see the unknown, how we handle technology, even how open our governments are.
For sure. And it reminds us that even in the age of information overload, there are still mysteries out there waiting to be explored.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the history, the theories, the investigations. But what about the people at the heart of it all? The ones who were actually there?
The human side of Roswell.
Right. The military folks involved in the cleanup, the locals who saw strange lights, found that weird debris. Even the journalists trying to figure out what was going on. What about their experiences?
It's easy to get caught up in the evidence and the theories.
Yeah.
And forget that Roswell, it wasn't just data points. It was a real event that changed people's lives.
Yeah, being thrust into the spotlight like that.
Exactly.
The scrutiny, the skepticism. Some people were even accused of making stuff up.
It's a lot to handle.
It is. So let's talk about some of those firsthand accounts. What are some of the stories that really stand out?
Well, one of the most famous figures is Major Jesse Marcel. He was the intelligence officer who first investigated the debris.
Okay.
And initially, he described the stuff as like nothing he'd ever seen. He even posed for a photo with some of the fragments. But later, he changed his story, saying it was just a weather balloon.
So was he part of the cover-up? Or was he just wrong? Hard to say.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so interesting. Was he pressured to change his story? Did he genuinely misinterpret what he saw? We might never know what he truly believed.
It's a good reminder that memory's a tricky thing, especially with something as crazy as Roswell.
Right. And then there's W.W. Mac Burzell, the rancher who found the debris on his property.
Whoa, right. He's the one who found it all.
Yeah. He described it as bright and foil-like. Even mentioned seeing strange symbols on some of the pieces. His story definitely added to the early speculation about a spacecraft.
It's interesting how his story and the stories of other locals kind of ground Roswell in reality,
Totally. Here's this everyday rancher going about his business.
Right.
And suddenly, he stumbles upon something seemingly out of this world.
Yeah.
It makes it feel less like a conspiracy theory and more like something that really happened to real people.
It's a good point. Those firsthand accounts bridge the gap between the extraordinary and the everyday.
Exactly. And they also highlight that Roswell wasn't just about the debris itself. It was about how the situation was handled, the secrecy, the way people were treated afterward.
The whole aftermath. There are stories of locals being intimidated by the military, told to keep quiet about what they saw.
Adding to the whole cover-up narrative.
Right.
Yeah, like the authorities were trying to bury the truth.
Which raises questions about national security versus the public's right to know. I mean, it was the Cold War. Maybe they had good reason to keep things quiet. But silencing people.
It definitely breeds suspicion and distrust.
It does. And that's something that's still relevant today.
Oh, absolutely. Transparency and accountability are more important than ever.
speaking of getting to the truth, let's talk about all the investigations. Official ones, independent ones. What did they find? What do they tell us about Roswell?
Well, we've got the two big official ones, right? The military's initial investigation back in 47 and the Air Force's deeper dive in 94.
Right. And they both concluded it was a Project Mobile balloon.
Yep. Case closed, according to them. Although some people say those investigations relied too much on government sources, that they didn't address all the inconsistencies in the story.
And the independent investigations, what did they bring to the table?
Oh, those are all over the place. You got UFO researchers, enthusiasts, all digging into witness accounts, poring over old documents, even doing tests on pieces of the alleged debris.
A lot of different theories coming out of those.
Oh, yeah. Some more believable than others. But they all keep the Roswell conversation going, keep people thinking, keep people searching.
One of the most famous independent investigators is Stanton T. Friedman, right? The nuclear physicist.
Yeah, Friedman. He spent a lot of his career trying to crack the Roswell case.
Looking for holes in the official story, talking to witnesses, digging up old documents. He really pushed the idea of a government cover-up.
He did. And whether you agree with his conclusions or not, he played a big role in keeping the Roswell story alive.
It's interesting how Roswell became this hub for alternative research and citizen investigation.
It is, isn't it? Like ordinary people challenging the authorities, trying to uncover the truth themselves.
Yeah, even when the government and mainstream science are telling them they're wrong. It shows you the power of just, like, not taking things at face value.
The power of asking questions, of being skeptical.
And sometimes, even after all that, the truth stays hidden.
Maybe it's not about finding all the answers. Maybe it's about the journey, the questioning, the exploration. That's what keeps us moving forward.
It keeps us thinking, keeps us growing.
Exactly. Roswell, despite all the mystery, teaches us valuable lessons about truth, about belief, about being curious and skeptical, even when faced with the unknown.
All right, we've talked about the history, the different viewpoints, the investigations, but what about Roswell's legacy? How has this one event continued to shape us? Our culture, how we see the universe, even our relationship with technology.
It's crazy, isn't it, how Roswell, this one event, turned into this huge cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, it's wild. From this tiny blip on the map to, like, a global icon of mystery.
It's not just about UFOs and aliens anymore either. It's everywhere. Movies, TV shows, books, you name it.
It really is. Roswell tapped into that part of us, that loves the unknown, the mysteries. It gave us this concrete thing to obsess over and a whole bunch of juicy conspiracy theories.
Oh, yeah. Those are always fun. But thinking about it, the world's changed a lot since 1947.
Right.
Back then, the idea of alien tech was like pure science fiction.
Yeah.
But today, we're sending probes to other planets, finding new galaxies all the time. The idea of aliens isn't so crazy anymore.
It's true. It's almost like Roswell, in a way, prepared us for all that.
I think so. It forced us to at least consider the possibility that we're not alone.
Even if it came wrapped in all this secrecy and speculation, maybe that's what Roswell was really about. Not the actual crash, but what it made us start thinking about.
Yeah, making us look up at the stars and ask, what else is out there?
And that curiosity, it pushes us to explore, to discover, to learn more about our place in the universe.
Totally. It's like Roswell was this wake-up call saying, hey, there's a bigger picture here.
I like that. A cultural wake-up call. But it wasn't just about looking outward, right? Yeah. Roswell made us look inward, too. Question the authorities, the stories we're told.
Absolutely. It planted these seeds of doubt, encouraged people to dig for answers themselves.
And those are important lessons. Especially today.
Oh, yeah?
We're flooded with information all the time, and not all of it's true. Knowing how to think for yourself, be critical, question things, that's more important now than ever.
It's true. Maybe Roswell was like a crash course in media literacy without us even realizing it.
I think you're right. It taught us to question the official narrative, look at things from different angles, find the evidence.
Skills we need now, not just for figuring out UFOs, but for navigating this world that's full of, fake news and all that.
Totally. So we've talked about how Roswell shaped our views on aliens, tech, even government transparency. But what about its impact on history? Yeah. How we understand history itself?
That's a great question. Roswell kind of became this example of how history is written, how narratives are built, how truth can get mixed up with myth and speculation.
It showed us that information can be twisted, events can be hidden, and finding the truth, well, that's hard, especially when powerful people want to keep things secret.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it made us more aware of the biases that exist in history, how someone's perspective, their political views, even their culture can affect how they see the past.
Like Roswell gave us this lesson in being skeptical of history, questioning what we're told, digging deeper, looking for other points of view.
Because history isn't just a bunch of facts. It's something we're always interpreting and reinterpreting. Every generation sees the past a little differently.
And that's what keeps history alive, right? It's not just a static thing. It's a conversation we're always having with the past, with ourselves, with each other.
I love that. And Roswell, with all its mysteries and unanswered questions, is a perfect example of how history can grab our attention, challenge our assumptions, and change how we see the world.
So we've explored a lot. The history, the different accounts, the investigations, the conspiracy theories, Roswell's lasting impact on us. But even after all that,
the big question remains.
What really happened in Roswell?
And honestly, we may never know for sure. The evidence is all over the place. People tell different stories. The truth is still out there, scattered like those pieces of debris across the desert.
But that doesn't mean this whole journey was for nothing. The search itself, the questions, exploring different ideas, that's what makes Roswell so captivating.
Absolutely. It's the mystery that keeps us hooked, keeps us thinking, keeps the story of Roswell alive.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Roswell, here's one last thought to leave you with.
Roswell, no matter what you believe happened, is a powerful reminder that we don't know everything, that there's still mystery out there, and that we as humans need to make sense of the world around us. So keep asking questions, keep exploring, keep that sense of wonder alive.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Roswell.